I would say that the founders of the USA basically lied about a lot of stuff that they were doing. When it says the king is taking our charters, I'm like, that's the king's charter he gave to you. And Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, but if you read the notes on the state of Virginia written by Thomas Jefferson, he talked about the original charters of the king. Well, if you remember from the DVD series or from my website, I would refer back to the notes on the state of Virginia sometimes that Thomas Jefferson wrote about what it was like to be owned by the Virginia Company. But if you look at the original charter, it says the original charter was given in 1584 to Sir Walter Raleigh. And then he was detained. He was put in prison. And that was in 1607. And so these two other guys thought that by his detainer, that he had forfeited the land grant. So they appealed to King James to give them a new grant of the land to Virginia, which King did. Because why? Because the other guy's in jail. Well, who put him there? The king. Not hard to figure out. So it's a joint venture project. So they were saying, okay, we'll take over the land grant and we'll go do something with it in the name of England and the great and mighty dread Lord King James. Right? I say dread Lord because that's in the Mayflower Compact, the big religious movement where it says our dread Lord King James.
Yeah. Okay,
so here's the thing. Jefferson writes that he's taken away the charters. But if you read what happened with that charter, it was taken away from Sir Walter Raleigh and given to two other guys. And then he says, of this particular charter, no notice need be taken as it was superseded by letters patent of the same king 2 years later in 1609. So if in the Declaration of Independence it says he's taking away our charters, haven't you already agreed that it's his charter and he has a right to take it away? You see, everything just becomes propaganda. The word propaganda is propaganda. It's just propaganda is just a fancy way of saying I'm lying my ass off to you. But that does not in any way diminish self-determination. It just diminishes the fact that they said we're doing it for this reason. Self-determination is about peace and peaceful settlement. And, of course, that's the reason why their little program didn't work, because they started the war and they used France and borrowed a bunch of money to buy back the French military and French ships to help them with that. Otherwise, they had no prayer of winning, which they really didn't win. The king was like, yeah, okay, fine, you can have the land as long as you pay back all that debt, which they never did. And that's how we get John Adams saying you can destroy a nation one of two ways, either by the sword or by debt. And I'm like, yeah, congratulations. You people did both.
Yeah.